Alright guys, my name is Little Chef and welcome back to another episode of the Subscriber Dynasty. As you can tell, we're no longer with USF. We are now the California Golden Bears. There was a lot of changes in the offseason and I was one of them. Yeah, let's check it out. Oregon State stayed. Pride leader left West Virginia and took my old school at USF. He's excited for them over there. Baylor left, ended up going to Cincinnati. And then Oklahoma, it used to be Louisville. Louisville left and became the Oklahoma Sooners. I mean, look at Sooner Magic. No real surprise there. But a little bit of changes. Not as many people in the Big 12. And now we got quite a bit of people across the country not set up in just one little location anymore. So it's going to be very interesting. As far as recruiting, my recruiting class sucks. I mean, taking a look at it, I actually found this dude. He hadn't been picked up yet. He's actually an improvement, +5 overall. Very happy about that. I mean, I'll take him because I need some help later on down the road. I mean, this year should be decent. Next year should be okay. Just after that, straight trash. So we're looking to improve the team, and I cut the people off my board, added people, re-added, to try to get some. So offered scholarships, put 1,000 points at some people. But this is like the best we got. We got an athlete. Like, yo, I don't know what you're gonna play, other than like defensive line maybe. Then we got outside linebackers to 73 overall. Like the computer screwed me on this class, dude. I left Pride Leader loaded with recruits. There's no doubt about that, but my recruiting class is horrible. So we're going to advance it to signing day, see who got who, see where everybody ended up. We'll be right back. And the top user class goes to Rutgers, coming in at number 8. He got a pretty decent looking class. A lot of offense in his top 10. I mean, athlete could be either or. I'm going to assume offense. I mean, 6'3", pretty good receiver. 5'11", pretty good running back. Maybe a receiver, could be a corner. I mean, there's no telling. But looking at the stats, only 2 defensive players, so he definitely loaded up on offense. Oklahoma State coming in at number 11. He also recruited pretty well. A lot of defensive players, corner, safety, middle linebacker, defensive tackle. So I'm saying pretty defensive heavy this time around. Oklahoma State looking to bring some defense to the Big 12. Missouri coming in at number 15. He did about even. I mean, there's not really any one particular side of the ball. I mean, he improved his line for sure. Tackle, tight end, another tackle, another tight end, halfback. And then he also improved his defensive line with a couple defensive ends, defensive tackles, and then linebackers. They could play in that blitzing formation, but he also had a really good class. USF, the old school, comes in at number 22. He got a pretty nice looking class. A 5-star athlete, a corner that's kind of short, and I recruited pretty well. A lot of offensive line, a couple of tackles for dang sure. I mean, those 3 stars are no slouches. They actually improved quite a bit, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the stats on everybody, but we definitely loaded up that team extremely well for Pride Leader. As he gets a lot of defensive help, a lot of offensive line help, and like a lot of playmakers. Oklahoma, I mean, the computer did most of it, but he still gets all the glory, coming in at 23. Pretty good class for him as well. Looks like a good mix of offense and defense. Defensive line for dang sure. And then the linebacker position. Mississippi State coming in at 40. Got a 5-star. Look at that. Bam. 1 5-star, 1 4-star, a couple 3 stars. He had a rough season, man. There's no doubt about that. So he improved his wide receiver core for dang sure. And then a couple of big pickups on the defensive side at linebacker, corner, and then defensive end. We have the number 48 class. We ended up not getting the quarterback. I guess he just didn't sign with anybody. It didn't show he signed with me, and I don't think he signed with anybody he might have. I didn't double check. But we are in a world of hurt, and that's for dang sure. We got a lot of linebackers, but they're all trash, dude. Maybe they'll be all right. Maybe we'll get them to improve. Redshirt them for dang sure with a lot of these dudes, but we're going to look to cut a ton of people. Oregon State comes in at 51. I mean, that's a conference rival over there, man. We might not actually be rivals, but to me, to user, conference rival. He's the one dude I got to watch out for in my conference every year. And it's gonna come down to the wire, baby. It's gonna be a good one. I mean, we used to play all the time. So looking forward to bringing that rivalry back for this season. Kansas coming in at 52. He had a pretty decent class with the record he had. He probably had the hardest schedule, to be honest with you. I mean, I played as many users, -1 because Baylor joined in, but I think he probably had the roughest schedule, to be honest with you. Dude comes in, never played with the Kansas team in this dynasty, first year, and he requested a lot of user games, and he got it, and the Big 12 was overloaded as is. It's going to be interesting to see what he could do with these recruits this next year and improve that Kansas team. UCF coming in at 54. Looks like a lot of defensive ends and a lot of safeties. Dude uses the safety extremely well, so he knows what he looks for. Look at that, 6'4 safety, 6'4 safety. I mean, maybe even move them to linebacker, I don't know, but the dude knows what he's doing. So he's going to have another good year. This time, instead of me, he's got Pride Leader at USF. And then Kentucky coming in at 56. The Italian did all right, improved his receiving core for sure, got a couple of tall receivers, and defense for dang sure, man. 2 defensive ends and then an outside linebacker in a corner. That's going to help out tremendously. A little bit of offensive line, but he's looking to improve that team pretty good, and that team's already pretty stacked. And then Baylor jumped to Cincinnati, comes in at the 72 slot. He had a decent class, but once again, the computer did most of the work. He might have got a couple of these guys, I'm not sure, but I always like to record it, so if they didn't get a chance to hop on and see it, now they get a chance to. But he looks like he's improved his team. I don't know how much. I don't know if he's going to keep any of these people. I would assume at least a 4-star athlete, but it's going to be interesting to see what he could do over in Cincinnati. And that loads us up in the signing day. Next time you'll see us will be training results. We got position changes and then training results. So I know everybody's anxious for that part. That's like the biggest thing in the offseason other than recruiting. And then after that, we're preseason, baby, ready to get another season rolling. So let's go. All right, we are officially in the training results, and let's see how everybody did. I had a couple of guys jump up pretty good. The center +7, very happy about that, as well as I had a guy go up +8. So we're looking okay. This McCray, I think he's gonna be my starter, a junior halfback in 95, 96, 99. Yo, dude, it's gonna be looking pretty good. I'm happy with my team. I'm a little worried at some positions because I got a lot of age, but that's what the recruiting's for, man. That's what we get to do. That's what we're going to try to do. This also doesn't include incoming freshmen or transfers. Well, transfers maybe? Incoming freshmen. As you do know, I move everybody to punter that I'm going to cut. I'm looking to cut about 10 people or so. It doesn't show everybody. But it's just easier for me to do it that way. Cincinnati also improved pretty good. 4 overall 90s. Senior. Yeah, 4 seniors. He's looking pretty good there. Good speed at the wide receiver position. And he's also looking to upgrade his team. He should be all right. So far, looking at it, it's not bad for a non-Power 5 team. It's looking pretty good, and he's got not much to worry about by the looks of it. I don't know about seniors and all that, but looking at it right here, he looks like he's got a pretty solid team overall. That's one he was a little worried about, but he's also improving his team quite a bit. He's got one guy that's a 90, everybody else is not me, but an 84 overall sophomore quarterback. Yo, he can redshirt that fool too, and he'll be all right. He'll get him for another year or two. Whether he does or not, I will not know until later in the season, but he does have that potential. But he's also got a fairly decent team for it being Kansas. I mean, I played with him in the commentator series for a long time, or for about a season or so, and they were all right. They were a pretty good team, and he's just going to build upon that, especially since not as many people are in the Big 12 anymore. Now, Kentucky's probably got the best team. If he doesn't, I'd be real surprised. His team is very good. I mean, 94 free safety and 92 corner, 91 strong safety, 91 left end. Like all of his 90s, but like 2 or 3 of his 9. So 6 of his 9 are on defense in the 90s. And it's just crazy how good his team's going to be this year, dude. It's so good. Like, golly, man, calm down. But it drops real quick from the 90s to the 80s. I mean, down maybe 10, 15 slots, you're down into the 70s real quick. But most of these guys are going to be redshirt. I mean, this is the end of the line here. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's got a real good team. Mississippi State as well. He's got a head coach coming in as his coordinator, so he's looking to improve himself there. And a lot of people, I don't know if they noticed that in the offseason. I always like to look and see who loses their coordinators and where they go. Because if you can get a head coach as your coordinator, yo, dude, that's like 100% unlocked. Like, you're good at a coordinator position. That's just going to make your team play even better. And he for sure did. And he's got a fairly decent team anyways. I mean, he's up there with the Italian on probably the best team on the game currently. I mean, Missouri also looking pretty good. I mean, a junior 94, and he's got him back next year. If he goes up plus 6 again, which he can't, and you go up +5, you got 99 overall corner as a senior, looking real good. His offense also not hurting either, man. I mean, 80s, upper 80s for like the top 20, 25 players. And in the 80s for like the top 30 players. Golly. He's also looking extremely well. And he's just going to build upon that too. I mean, fullback's the weakest position, but that is a lot of people. Most people don't use him. I mean, he's got Mixon. He hasn't gone pro yet in this game. So he's got him a 99 overall senior. A couple of 94s. I mean, 94 overall junior. DeBerry. Golly, dude. And defensive tackle. So his defense looking pretty stacked as well. Both of his outside linebackers are in the 90s. And both of his defensive tackles are in the 90s. Kyler Murray, though, is a senior. Not going to be able to keep him unless he redshirts him this year. What's the point? Maybe to build him up a little bit, but not going to be able to keep him. So far, he's got the most 90 overall players. That's for dang sure. It's going to be interesting to see what he could do over there in the Big 12. He ran the show at Louisville. Pretty sure won the national title this year over West Virginia, but you never know, dude. Could be anybody's season this year. Nobody's set in stone. That's for dang sure. Oklahoma State also has a pretty good team. 95 overall wide receiver is a senior. A couple of other seniors. Luckily, John K. He's a junior, so he's going to have him for a couple more years. But he's also looking to be a big threat in the Big 12 as well. I mean, that Bedlam game is going to be huge, dude. Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. That's going to come down to user. That's going to come down to user versus user matchup, and it should be a heck of a game. Oregon State is going to be my conference rival this year. Look at that, 6'3", 93 overall. His top players are wide receivers and a quarterback and a halfback. Offensive production for dang sure, man. Almost all of his offense is up here as his top players, so I got to watch out for that because I have a tendency to give up a lot of big plays, but I'm hoping this year this team does not do that for me. Hopefully they can put a stop to the big plays because I need to do that for sure. Any little bit helps. As long as they do their job, we'll be okay. Rutgers, this team was stacked. Dude, he had a left end last year, did work. He's got a 99 overall halfback of this year. I mean, he's a senior, but he was 99 overall, you know what I mean? Hopefully he uses them to perfection and does pretty well. I mean, not against me. His corners are really good, 84 plus. I mean, 83 is the lowest one. That's 5 corners right there from 83 up. And it's just going to get even better after that. I mean, he could probably have some freshmen that are coming in and be low to mid 70s and still be all right. Donner Squad, UCF, his quarterback's a 95 overall wide receiver. I think this is Smith, one of his guys. I think he might have lost a speedy guy, but I don't think he's really worried about that. His strong safety, that's who he uses all the time. I'm pretty sure it's his strong safety or free safety, doesn't really matter because he's going to do work with them anyways. But he's got a lot of seniors on his team. And that's pretty obvious. He's got a lot of wide receivers as well. But a lot of seniors on his team, they look to be pretty good as he continues to build them up. Oh, this is who he'll be right here, this free safety. Sheesh, man. Sophomore, you got 98 speed, 94 agility, 93 acceleration. Regardless of what his awareness is, it doesn't matter. He's going to be a beast as he uses that guy. He probably moved him from like a linebacker position or something. I don't know where he moved him from. All I know is the guy's fast. I mean, he might have moved him from a receiver. I don't know. Dude's going to be good. That's a matter of fact. And UCF's going to try to reclaim his throne back at the top. USF, this is the team that I was last year, so I'm anxious to see how these guys improved. This is who Pride Leader became this year. I mean, he's got a pretty good strong safety also. Thomas, not too bad. Bronson, pretty quick. Fullwood, also pretty quick. Man, I'll have 2 good safeties over there. 2 pretty good receivers as well. I mean, he's a little short, but he does pretty good. He got a couple of kickers. I mean, I got a senior and then a redshirted the freshman. So now he's a freshman, so he'll start sophomore on. He's already almost as good as a senior kicker. You know what I mean? A 5'6" kicker. Yeah, that guy's tiny. But looking at this team, he's looking to inherit a really good team, and I'm hoping he can do good things over there with it because I'm going to miss him. That's for dang sure. I typically play my old teams. Don't know if I'm going to play Pride Leader with my old team because he might show me how to actually use that team and embarrass me pretty good. Here we are, preseason, ready to roll. Not going to show my recruiting board because it's not a point until week 2. And I'll probably show it right off the bat. Man, I don't know if I'll be too worried about it, even though we're going to be right even with the advanced schedule, so it could be a little iffy. The majority of the people are ready. Pride Leader online. And as you can tell, new teams. I jumped to Cal. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I get Packers Rogers this year. And then Pride took my old team at USF. Baylor left, went to Cincinnati. And Louisville went to Oklahoma. So we did pretty good. Check out the red shirt players. I red shirt a ton of people because we have a lot of seniors, which is kind of crazy. I didn't red shirt everybody that I could, but the majority of people. I mean, so far it looks pretty good. We just did 1 person, 1 receiver, because that leaves me with 5. I didn't want to handcuff myself with only having 3 people that are pretty decent and 1 guy's kind of average. So I wanted to make sure I had the junior this year. Tight end went ahead and redshirt the sophomore because I figured Wells would get the majority of the playing time anyway, so it's not going to hurt. Offensive line is trash. No way around that, dude. We got a sophomore, a senior that I'm not going to redshirt. I redshirted the sophomore here, and then a senior. So we're in a world of hurt there. Hopefully we can recruit some. I did redshirt some of the trash players so we could do any of this stuff. And then defensive tackle. Anyway, like I said, we're in a world of hurt when it comes to a lot of positions. So we're going to have to recruit our butt off. Linebackers are all trash, and they're all seniors. So that freaking sucks. I did redshirt the 2 corners that I could. I'll probably cut them whenever I get the opportunity because I don't like their stat line. But I got decent corners. I mean, at least this year and next year. After that, not so much. Same thing with the safety position. And then we'll go from there. But I did the best I could with what I got, which wasn't a whole lot. I'm excited about the team in the years to come, but as of right now, it's a little iffy. Checking out the custom schedules. I play Pride of Leader. He wanted to play myself this year and next year, so we're going to do that, especially with my old team. Anxious to see how that game turns out. So bam, right off the bat, first game of the season against a really good user with my old team. So we're looking forward to seeing how that goes. Oklahoma State also requested to play me, and then Packers Rogers. So that's my 3 user games. I tried to limit as much as I could unless you requested users. Other than that, I didn't do so much. Mississippi State and Cincinnati gave him Indiana to start the season. He's got Pride of Leader and Donner Squad this year in the same conference. And then the Kansas-Missouri matchup, they wanted a repeat. It was 1 game last year, so the best out of 3, I guess. They wanted to play again. And then in conference, Oklahoma State. The Italian, I gave him Notre Dame and Louisville, kind of loaded his schedule up a little bit. But the only other option was Oklahoma State, and gave him his 3 users. He doesn't like playing user games week 1, and everybody else was pretty much booked then, so I didn't even mess with it. Mississippi State got Cincinnati, and then in conference Kentucky. So he's only got 1 user, and sometimes these schedules are a lot rougher than they look to schedule. So I think he's got the fewest user games, but he should do all right. Missouri's got at least 3, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then the Italian in conference, and then Oklahoma's got Missouri. I gave him Louisville. I like to play my old team, so typically when people leave, they play their old team as well. Then Kansas and Oklahoma State to end the season. Oklahoma State's got USF, myself, the Italian, and then Kansas and Oklahoma. He wanted to play all 3 of us at a conference, so I gave him Pride of Leader, myself, and the Italian the best I could. Oregon State gave him Rutgers. Rutgers didn't really have anybody else on the schedule, as well as UCF. I don't know if they've played very often or at all, so we're going to see how that works out. Rutgers, Oregon State week 2, UCF week 5, and then he's also only got 2 games. Kind of went a little bit relaxed this season, just because I don't want to overload all the user games every year. And then UCF, he's got a lot of games available early in the season, whereas a lot of people had him later in the season. So he's got Oregon State and Rutgers, and then Cincinnati and USF. So he's got 4 users there. I don't figure it'll be much of an issue in the non-user games because he's good, but anxious to see what's going on over there. Then USF, myself, Oklahoma State. He's got 2 users back-to-back. He's got a pretty good leeway after that to the end of the season, but these were requested games, so I had to make them happen whenever I could. We're ready to get this season rolling. I'm not going to show any of the preseason stuff, like overall rankings and all that. We'll do that in the next episode. The first week, we'll kind of run through that, as well as our game against Pride of Leader. But as of right now, another season in the books. This is technically season 18, regardless of what the current season since the reset's been. This is our 18th year to do a subscriber dynasty in game, regardless of what year it shows. So we're very excited to see how this season plays out as a new team. I've never been Cal. Looking forward to it. That's going to be it for this episode. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe. If you like the video, be sure to leave a like. My name is Little Chef, and I will see y'all next time.